Hi there, and welcome to Seasonal Wire, the platform where we speak truth to power. We're just going to keep this very short. We don't want to talk too long. It's about the case of the youth from Kaduna that were arrested, placed in adult prisons. This is really wrong. Even if this was to be in the Constitution of Nigeria, this is clearly wrong. This demonstrates why that constitution must be rewritten, but that's a matter for another day. Right now, what we want the government to do is to explain to the people of Nigeria why is it they see it fit to place children in the same prison as adults, knowing full well the dangers that they face. The children should be in school, and they were protesting because the government has not, either state or federal or local, they failed to provide infrastructure for them to be in school, to be well fed, all of this stuff. And the government is simply not being accountable to the citizens. Now, on this platform, Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power, we want to encourage everybody to begin to participate in their governance by holding the government to account. And one of the key things that we've identified is this: we need those constitutions in our local languages. I'm talking in Yoruba, in Igbo, in Hausa, and Efik, and Ishon, and all the languages. That is what must happen. To that end, we are working on that. We would really love your support. The best way you can help us is, of course, to subscribe to Citizen AY on YouTube, hit notification button, and of course, give us thumbs up. So how do you subscribe? Let me just show you right quick. Here we go. Subscribe to Season AY, hit notification button, and of course give us thumbs up and help us reach more people. Remember, the object of our discussion today, the purpose of this discussion today is this: we want you to know that you have the powers to hold your government to account, and we want to encourage you to begin to exercise that power in your local language, in your mother tongue. This is the same thing for all 54 African states. We found out that this is the major stumbling block that prevents the people from being able to participate in their governance and thereby hold their governance accountable. The only place that you are seeing good governance right now is in Burkina Faso under Ibrahim Traore, and under Assimi Goïta in Mali, and General Tiani in Niger. They are working assiduously, focused on providing for the people, using the resources beneath their feet to improve the lives of the people. In what you call democracy right now, that is simply non-existent. The role models that we are seeing across Africa are the men you see behind me: Assimi Goïta, Ibrahim Traore, and General Chiani. All of them, they are giving examples of good governance, something that is lacking certainly in Nigeria right now. We're not here to abuse Tinubu. We're not here to abuse Shetima. We are simply saying we must hold them accountable. That's what we want to do. Let us watch a bit of this video. I'm not going to take too long on it, but I want to really focus on what we can do. And I want to encourage us all to begin to take that action right now in all 774 local government areas. We can talk for all we like. We can talk as much as we want. If we don't begin to take the steps that we are suggesting right now, mainly have the constitution in local languages, something that we've begun to do, to translate it and have it in the language that people can understand. And then you encourage them through stakeholders to teach them how to use those powers to hold the government to account. Nothing is going to change. So there's no point getting angry with those in government. We need to be making them accountable. So when we channel our energies in the right direction, we will get much further. That is what we're really trying to drive at. Let's carry on.
A lot of Nigerians, some of them who have been debating on the right of a child. So some suspects brought by the Nigerian police for arraignment fainted before Justice Obiora Egwatu Court, the Federal High Court in Abuja today. The suspects, about 75 of them in number, between the ages of 12 and 15, are being charged with 10 counts of terrorism and attempt to overthrow the government and alleged mutiny over their participation in the nationwide protest. They were allegedly arrested on August the 3rd and had since been in detention before they were brought to court today. The case before the court was for arraignment and plea when some of the suspects were seen to have fainted right in the center of the courtroom, which made Justice Egwatu rise abruptly. And after that matter, this is what some of the lawyers said after the hearing today.
Boys that we brought to the court today, all of them are adults. Most of them are married men. None of them is a minor. Some of them are university graduates. The small kids you are seeing here, they came with some of their parents to come and greet their loved ones. They are not even the real suspects standing trial in this case. These boys were arrested in Kaduna and Zaria. These young boys are trying to destabilize Nigeria using the Russian flags and other countries, calling on the military to remove our president. Is it fair?
As you can see the videos that are flying around social media, you're informed that they are taking Gani. They were kept at the Kuje Correctional Center and police and at the IRT, the notorious IRT at Sas Abatua. At Sas Abatua. Now this is the facility that has held our young children that are being kept by this government over allegations of attempting to overthrow the president. The question now comes to how can a 12, 13, 14-year-old boy who is looking very frail and malnourished attempt to overthrow the president? That is a matter for another day.
So, I'm not going to go into, we might play a section of what they're doing. Okay, let's see. I think what needs to happen is we need our people to know your rights in your local language. Having the constitution in foreign languages means that people are not able to engage and understand what is being said to them about the situation that they're in, that their government is responsible for. We want our people to know their rights in their local language. What do I mean? So, for example, Section 14(2)(a) of the Nigerian Constitution states sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom the government, through this constitution, derives all its powers and authority. And they should have that in Yoruba, Igbo, and Hausa. I know the Yoruba one of it. I'll say it to you. It goes like this: Ìjọba jẹ́ ti àwọn èèyàn Nigeria láti ọ̀dọ̀ ẹni tíjọba nípasẹ̀ òfin yìí gbàgbọ́gbàgbàrà àti àṣẹ rẹ̀. That is Section 14(2)(a) in Yoruba language, and of course in Igbo and Hausa and so on and so forth in other languages. Now that does one or two things. One of three key things. One, the people understand what is being said to them in their local language. They understand that the constitution, that they possess powers within that constitution, and and thirdly, they know that they are sovereigns. So those are the key things we want people to know. It is no good just saying, "Oh, how can they?" and wring our hands and talk and just no. We need our people to know this right. Section 14(2)(c), for example, states the participation by the people in the government shall be ensured in accordance with the provisions of this constitution. Abala kẹrin láìsẹ̀ kejì sí ìkópa àwọn ènìyàn níjọba wọn gbọ́dọ̀ rí dájú ní ìbámu pẹ̀lú àwọn ìpèsè tìyí orílẹ̀-èdè yìí. What that simply means, as I've just told you, you have the power to participate in your governance. And the participation is what has been missing for over 24 years. People just think if you vote, that's it. No. You need to know that you possess the power to hold your government to account. And that is what 14(2)(c) is really about. Because it lets you know that you're a sovereign, you have authority, and you have power. And in 14(2)(c), you can use those powers to hold your government to account. So I'll just listen to a few minutes of what here.
These are some of the lawyers who spoke right after the court hearing today. So over 70 children were arraigned at the Federal High Court, and different arguments by the lawyers saying, well, some of them are not children, some of them are adults. There are serious charges against them, including 10 counts of terrorism, attempts to overthrow the government for their participation in nationwide protests. The case has sparked significant public outcry and heated debate regarding the appropriateness of trying minors in such a high-profile manner. And critics have also argued that the legal proceedings against these children violate their rights and fail to consider their age and vulnerability, while supporters assert that the gravity of the charges necessitate a firm response. The trial has raised crucial questions about the intersection of child rights and national security in Nigeria. tonight, I'm being joined by one of those who are concerned about the welfare and the legal representation of some of these suspects. I'm being joined by Ms. Funke Adeoye, who is a human rights defender, social innovator, and young global leader. She's the founder and the executive director of Hope Behind Bars. Thank you so much indeed for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
You've been working with the likes of Mr. Femi Falana, Dejare and Ju Chambers to fight for these children. But there seems to be some kind of communication problem here. The lawyers to the federal government in that matter, the lawyer to the state rather, said today that a lot of them are not minors. That some of them that we've seen in court today were just, they came with their parents and their adults. Is that true?
No. We were in court today observing proceedings, and you could clearly see children in court today. Also to say that this matter did not begin today. It began in August after the protests, when a number of people were picked up from different parts of the country, which included minors. A remand order, an ex parte order, was actually granted by Court 9 of the Federal High Court. And when you look at the remand order, the names of 75 protesters were included in that order. And out of those names, we had minors. Their ages were clearly written on the motion paper. So they were remanded ex parte for 60 days under the Anti-Terrorism Act. Now, immediately after the 60 days, we're expecting the government to charge or arraign this set of persons. But what we found out was just about 10 of the names that were in that motion paper were arraigned. And so the law firm of Femi Falana and Deji Adeoye decided to file a fundamental human rights action to ask the government to do something about the children. We're in court last week, and the situation that happened today was an aftermath of the fact that fundamental human rights action was filed to say, where are these children? Because we and a lot of other advocacy organizations knew that indeed children were being arrested. We didn't know their whereabouts. Some of us had gone to Kuje Correctional Facility only to find out that they were at the IRT. So what happened today is an aftermath of the fundamental human rights action that civil society organizations and the law firm of these human rights activists actually filed. Okay, so today is the first appearance, is the arraignment. Yes. The charges were read to them. Yes. And they, one after the other, yes, they answer to their... Not guilty yes, to the charges. Yes. What about the fundamental...
How do you begin to question children that should be in school? So the government of the day, instead of actually rehabilitating the kids and actually saying, we understand why you're protesting, here we go, we're going to actually sort your schools out. And in the meantime, this is what we want you to do. We want to, why put them through this process? Those could well be the future of the nation. Again, this is why we're saying we need to participate in the process of governance. We can no longer afford to be bystanders in our governance. We need to exercise our powers of sovereignty collectively. Let's carry on.
Human rights action that was filed.
It's still pending in court, and we're still going to continue.
Okay, yes. I mean, that means it might be taking pari passu with the matter, isn't it? Yes. Okay, now, let's look at it. Out of about 75, 75 people were brought to court today. Yes, but were there any adults there?
There were adults. About 38 of them were minors. About 38 of them were minors. Okay. Yes, but they were also adults.
Out of 75, yes, about 38 of them were minors.
Yes.
Okay, now, give us an understanding, because I know there is a juvenile justice system in Nigeria which also take cognizance of the Child Rights Act of 2003, isn't it? Yes. And it also says the procedure for which a child under our law, a child is less than 18 years, yes, that's as a minor, can be tried in Nigeria courtroom. Were those procedures breached today?
So again, I will have to take us back to how we started, because it's not just today. It's the fact that these children have been kept in detention longer than they should be.
Unlawfully.
So they're unlawfully. So they are right to pass...
By the Nigerian state.
Yes.
By the Nigerian police.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yes.
They've been kept in different police custodies.
Yes.
Alongside, were they kept in adult prisons or children prisons?
Their right to personal liberty and fair hearing under Section 35 and 36 has already been violated. because
but the fact that they've stayed longer than necessary.
Yes.
Violated
but they kept it. From all our understanding, they have been.
You see, what I want us to do right now, we need to go on a massive drive, all of us. We want to solve this problem. Please, if you're just going to come and just leave a comment, oh, but government is bad, government is this, government, don't bother leaving comments. What we want to do, we want to encourage let's encourage each other to begin to do the work at the grassroots level in our communities to empower people to know their rights. And that is what we need to do. Let me quickly show you something that I'm working on that many of you know. Citizen AY, the platform where we speak to truth to power, that I work on, and I've been championing this for years, since 2018. I've been talking about it. Initially, it was just for people to know their rights, but I've soon realized that actually we need this in local languages. And for the past 2-3 years, I've been advocating strongly that we have the constitution translated into our local languages. Now, I know the government has not done it. So what I'm doing is I'm doing that process now. I'm actually printing out 1 or 2 documents about that. It will be coming out the next week or so, the next few days. It would have been ready, but however, they printed it in it was poor quality print that the product that they did. So I've had to tell them to go back and actually print it so it's much more clearer, because we want the people to communicate and be able to read the words in Yoruba language across the across Yoruba land. We want to do a rollout. So this is about taking action. So let me just show you what I mean. 1 second, I'm just going to find this very quickly for you. Okay, let me just no, sorry, a minute. Okay, so I want to make sure we have that in the manner that we should. Okay, so I'm going to quickly show you something because this is important. So when I'm talking about this, the Constitution, as you know, is written in English. But this is just to give you a kind of a quick, rough specimen of what I'm saying. Right now, this is, I think she mentioned 35 and 36. I think I might actually have it in there. Let me see. I've got 33, 34, 39. I haven't got 35, 36. But all of it is, what I've written there is in Yoruba language. And this is like a specimen. This is not the finished product. But what I'm saying is that we're having the Constitution in local languages. I'll put it here. I'm going to show you quickly. I'm just showing you that this is what we need. We need to be taking action. Every one of us need to have this in our community in local languages. We don't want to wait anymore and wait for them to tell us, oh, we will do something. We must hold them accountable. And to be able to do that, we need to know what laws the powers we possess in the Constitution. Section 14(2)(a) says, I'll read it to you in Yoruba. It says, ìjọba jẹ́ ti àwọn ènìyàn Nàìjíríà láti ọ̀dọ̀ ìjọba nípa ṣòfin gbogbo agbára àti àṣẹ rẹ̀. So it talks about the sovereignty. Sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom the government, through this constitution, derives all its powers and authority. So right there, you have it in Yoruba. We want people to know it. Market women, farmers, organizers, hairdressers, street hawkers, everybody, in market women in particular, they need to know these rights and how to use it, which is where 14(2)(c) comes in. Ìkópa àwọn èèyàn nípasẹ̀ òfin gbogbo ìkópa nípasẹ̀ àwọn ènìyàn nínú ìjọba wọn gbọ́dọ̀ rí dájú ní ìbámu pẹ̀lú àwọn ìpèsè ti iye orílẹ̀-èdè. So which means that the participation by the people in the government shall be ensured in accordance with the provisions of this constitution. These are what we need to do. The words, market women won't know their rights in the local language. So what we need you to know is that when you know that you have the power as a sovereign to participate in your governance. And what does that mean? To participate means that you hold your government accountable. You question them at town hall meetings. We start organizing town hall meetings, monthly town hall meetings, to monitor the progress of the work that the senators, the constituency projects are being done, the monthly allocation funds meant to be used for fixing your roads in local government, and the contractors, what is being spent. Our role is to monitor that. We have not been encouraged or taught about those rights, and it needs to be in our local language. So what I'm saying is this. What happened to those young children? This picture here is actually quite shocking. What happened to them here is totally unacceptable. I'm not actually going to play anything she's saying more now. we've got the most important part of it. I'm not here to sort of try and our role is to hold our government accountable, and that is what we need to focus. We have to focus on that. We need all 774 local government areas to focus on being able to hold our government accountable, and that can only happen when we know those rights in our local languages, and we are taught how to use it by stakeholders in every community coming from that community. And then now every month on a monthly basis across 774 local government areas, we begin to hold multi-town hall meetings where your local government chairman, state house of assembly member, your house of reps, your senators, and your governors must attend to give account of the funds that they're spending on your behalf. That is what accountability is about. The government right now, from the local to federal, there is no accountability whatsoever in the process. They are not able to give account of where they spend the funds, and they even make you believe that you don't have the right to question them. I'm here to let you know that you have that power, and that's the limit of what we're going to say here, because I don't want to just talk and just talk. I'm hoping that we want to have impactful conversation here about the powers they possess. And that's why you see these young children should not be in court. And if they are in court, that even justifies why we need to know the powers within the Constitution that allows this to happen. And we can actually instruct our local government chairman, state of assembly, house of reps, senators, and governors that we are now instructing you that we don't agree with that. You children should not be tried in adult court. We need that law changed, and it's through participation. And that's what I'm really getting at. We have to make them accountable. There's no point abusing the government, those in government. What we need is collective action in all 774 local government areas to make sure that our people will begin to hold those we elect into office to account. Justice Govt should really have not allowed this to happen, and it is a shame. But again, it shows the flaws in our governance if the government is holding children in court for 60 days when they should be in school. That is not right. That is why we are seeking for, and we must begin to inculcate this accountability. And it is through our collective participation in all central local government areas in monthly town hall meetings where the local government chairman, state of assembly, house of reps, the senator and governor must sit down and take questions from the sovereigns in every local government area, and they must answer because they are answerable to you and I. So it's about, in our local language, this is what this is about. I don't want to talk too much and just sort of keep talking, but I want us to really know that you have the powers to make that change. And I'm hoping that by having this kind of a discussion, we can begin to prompt ourselves. If you go to my website, www.citizenny.org, you see this the constitution on there in Yoruba as well, and there's key ones I've taken out and I've shown, and I think you'll see section 36 and 35 and 36 in Yoruba as well. Let me give an example of what I mean. I'll quickly go and get that up for you. I want you to see what I mean so you can see it in Yoruba, so I can demonstrate what I'm saying to you. I'm not just about talking. I want us to really take the steps we need to take. So www, you see citizenny.org. So there we go. You will see 35 and 36 in Yoruba language. So we will go here. So we're not going to do that one yet. So I'm going to scroll down till we get to this one here. Okay. So no, that's the one I did before. I showed you that. I want to go for this particular one to what actually no, not that one. Sorry about that. That's not what I wanted. 1 second. It will finish the Yoruba. So you see I'm saying Yoruba. Yeah, there you go. So this is the one I want. And we're going to quickly go. So I've translated section up to section 53. There's a lot of work, but we want the Nigerian government to actually do this. And also, but you can help us, in the work that we're doing. But we wanted that to be something you can get to. So let's get to section 35 and 36, like she said. And you will see what I mean. 35 and 36, what she was saying. I don't want to take too long on this because I don't want to. So 35. Olúkúlùkù ènìyàn ni ó ní ẹ̀tọ́ sí òmìnira àti ara ti ara ẹ̀. Ẹni àti pé kò sí ènìyàn kankan tí ó gbọ́dọ̀ gba irú òmìnira àyàfi ní àwọn ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ wọ̀nyí àti ní ìbámu pẹ̀lú ìlànà tí a gbà láàyè nípasẹ̀ òfin, a ní ìmúṣẹ ìdájọ́ tàbí àṣẹ tí ilé ẹjọ́ ní ọwọ́ tí ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ọ̀daràn èyí tí ó jẹ̀bi, nítorí ìkùnà rẹ̀ láti tẹ̀lé àṣẹ ti ilé ẹjọ́ tàbí láti lè ní ìdánilójú ìmúṣẹ ọ̀ranyàn èyíkéyìí tí pàṣẹ lórí rẹ̀ nípa òfin, and so on and so forth. So that's 35, 36 there. You know, it's telling you that you have right. Nobody should actually, and that's in local languages. So 36, I'll read one section of section 36 for you again. Of course, I mean, this is what the government should be doing, but we're doing that. So nínú ìpinnu àwọn ètò ìlú àti àwọn àdéhùn pẹ̀lú èyíkéyìí ìbéèrè tàbí ìpinnu nípasẹ̀ tàbí lòdì sí èyíkéyìí ìjọba tàbí àṣẹ ènìyàn yóò jẹ́ ẹ̀tọ́ sí ìgbọràn òdodo láàrin àkókò tí ó ní òye nípasẹ̀ ilé ẹjọ́ tàbí ilé ẹjọ́ mìíràn tí a ṣètò nípasẹ̀ òfin àti tí ó jẹ́ ní irú ọ̀nà láti ní ààbò òmìnira rẹ̀ àti ojúṣàájú. So all of this is really to try and prompt us to know. Let me read it to you. I'll go even one further. Let me just bring that to you in English to show you that I actually have it on the website as well. Now, I've written on that because of my frustration that the Constitution is fraudulent, and it is in many respects, but there are powers within it. And like I said, I want to just quickly show you that 35 and 36 in English, so you know that we have it there. But we need to really be teaching this to our people in the local language. You don't need to speak English to know your rights. You must be able to know your rights in your local language. And that is what we strongly advocate for, to stop the injustice of bad governance, because we can able to question them in your local language, then they cannot pull the wool over your eyes. That's what we're really trying to say here. Okay, so 35, every person shall be entitled to his personal liberty, and no person shall be deprived of such liberty, save in the following cases, and in accordance with the procedure permitted by law, in execution of a sentence or order of the court in respect of a criminal offense of which he has been found guilty. So exactly. So all of this, again, I'm going to read. I just want to read that section. I read that in Yoruba. I'm going to read it to you in English here as well. So in section 36(1), in determination of his civil rights and obligations, including any question of or determination by or against any government or authority, a person shall be entitled to a fair hearing within reasonable time by a court or tribunal established by law and constituted in such a manner as to secure his independence and impartiality. That is clearly missing. There is the impartiality is all over this case. So when she talked about that, I'm just trying to show you 35 and 36. The object of what we're trying to do is for you to know your rights in your local language so you can hold your government accountable. I'll come back and talk some more. The point I'm making here is this: there's no point in us just talking. We need to take collective action to hold our governors to account. We must make them accountable, and we have to use our local language. We must demand that the Constitution is translated in our local language so we know what is going on. We don't have to learn English to know our rights. Our rights we must learn our rights from the time we are 4 years old. That's what they do in the UK. The children know their rights because they speak English, and that is their mother tongue. Our mother tongue is Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa. Those rights must be in our local languages. So please join us and support us in doing this. We need to do a radical change. Enough of just complaining. If we are just going to make a complaint, of course you can complain all you want. You can say the government is bad. You can say all of that. But will that change the situation is what I'm asking you. Will that change the situation? Or is it not now time for us to now come together, ensure that we have the Constitution in our local languages so that all our people can stand up for their rights in their community, in all Central and Central local government areas, and begin to hold the government accountable to put a stop to the corruption going on. Because once you are made to be accountable at meetings, every monthly town hall meetings, it stops the idea of people trying to be corrupt and loot. And that is what we need. No prayer is going to do it. No prayer in a Muslim church, in a Muslim, no Islamic prayer in a Islamic building, or Christian prayer in a church, or whatever, in a mosque, or no Muslim Islamic prayer in a mosque, or prayer Christian prayer in a church will stop corruption. It is we monitoring our government, and it's our role, our key role collectively. We are sovereigns. It says so. Sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom the government, through this constitution, derives all its powers and authority. So let us do that. Let us start teaching our children that. That is something we need to do, and critically, it has to be in our local language. That's why you hear me say, Abalaka and SKG are ìjọba jẹ́ ti àwọn ènìyàn Nàìjíríà láti ọ̀dọ̀ ní tìjọba nípasẹ̀ òfin yìí gbàgbọ́ gbàgbára àti àṣẹ rẹ̀. Let us begin that process. I don't want to talk too much and just talk. We need collective action. I hope you will join me on this. Leave your thoughts on this. Let us see. Are you ready? You must be ready to, if you want to change and improve the lives of the people, we need this information in our local languages. Please join me. You're, of course, listening to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power about Electron. Thank you, and bye for now. Please subscribe. Go ahead and subscribe. Hit the notification button. Give us thumbs up, and help us share the broadcast. If you want the hoodie, if you like the hoodie and t-shirt that you see on the screen, get in touch. Admin at citizenay.org. I'll give you the hoodie is £40 and the beanie is 20, and we got the various sizes, and if you want it, just get in touch and we will let you. I'll send it to you, and you can make payments to the paypal.me/ODTVR. You see it going across the screen right there. And again, you can write to me at admin@citizenay.org. Thank you so much for watching. You've been listening to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power about Electron. Thank you, and bye for now.